Well, Q4 earnings are in. I hate to say it, but there's going to be some layoffs. Y'all shit the bed this quarter. You couldn't sell it. What? Yeah, new guy. Sorry, what's your name?
Yes, Jim. From accounting.
Yeah,
I
Jim,
just wanna
listen, when I'm talking, you don't talk, but I'll let you go.
I put my hand up. Just wanted to say how you're doing a great job. And just for everyone else in the room, from the accounting department, of course, we know our owner's equity was down. Is that information that you want to hear right now, boss? I'm not sure. I wasn't sure where to bring that up.
Sorry, the owner. Sorry, do you understand accounting?
Yeah.
You said you're an accountant?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm new here. Just graduated. Yeah. So our owner's equity, our T chart was in the negative.
You're the T chart.
Yeah.
So who do you report to?
That's a good. I was supposed to report to Marcy.
Has anybody seen this guy here? Does anyone know who this is?
Oh yeah, no, I've been hired. That's the nice new gym boy. I just hired him. This is Marcy down here in accounting, of course. He's great. And I suggested he just send some of this information right to you. I thought it'd be a little bit more direct. Thanks, Marcy. Yeah. So the T chart was in the negative. Is this the right place to bring this up? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to let you go, big fella.
Oh, I'm part of the let goes. Okay. Jim, it was so nice seeing you. It was so nice working with you for a little bit. Well, boss, I guess I gotta tell you,
get the fuck out of this boardroom.
Our T charts are in the negative.
Continuing tonight on Two C's in a Pod. 96.7 on your
Two C's in a pod, 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 two C's just like two C's in a pod, two C's because we're two C's in a pod, two C's just like two C's in a pod, two C's in a pod at gmail.com.
And welcome to Two C's in a Pod. As always, I'm Cam LeClaire, drinking penguin piss, and our co-host slash I guess still just I guess I'm a co-host. You're a co-host.
Yeah, I don't think there's any one of us who's more higher up. There's no 51%. Of course, because my name is Cameron Osborne, and this is Two Season Pod podcast. This is this is a show you hear every week on 96.7 on your dial.
96.7 Shock Rock Radio.
Cam and I get together and just sort of recap what the week was.
Yeah, what the week was emotionally, physically, and movie-wise, sports-wise, economy, go for traffic and weather. Really just your local news show. Which got me thinking.
And nothing more, quite frankly. It's just your local news show, and that's it.
Maybe I was thinking about this today because I saw a CTV news truck go by at the same time that I saw this argument going on in my neighborhood. And I'm like, wouldn't it be great to have like a news report just for my neighborhood? There's like, Jim got mad at Nancy because he hit his car, or he dented the lady's car with his car door on the way out. No comment from Jim, but Casey says that she's pissed and she's not going to talk to him. In other news, the dog is getting a little bit bigger that you see that gets walked every day at 10 o'clock. Local traffic coming up next. As expected, there's none in our parking lot. Parking spaces are becoming less and less available, and it just goes on and on about like this your little tiny community that you live in. I would love that.
And you know what, and Cam, you know yourself, you live in a smaller sized community. You know, people are driving around. It's more spread out. I'm sure the listeners of the show would love, just some one-on-ones with you and people in the area, how they feel about the speed limits, how they feel.
Just all kinds of stuff.
All sorts of stuff.
I have so much news going on.
I'm sure people
Recently,
would love to hear this.
there was a man with a, what do you call those things? A man with a leaf blower blowing dust away from the sidewalks. Comment from Jim in Unit 426. Yeah, I think it's very loud, and I don't know why we just don't wait for rain. Thank you, Jim. Back to parking. Parking seems to still be an issue, and just roll it.
Of course, because you live in a, folks at home, we're not going to give away too much information about us because with the amount of listeners that we have these days, we just can't necessarily give that much personal information right off the bat. But Cam, you live in a Melrose Place-esque apartment complex.
I don't know that reference.
That just wasn't, so picture like it's hot singles, all very kind of tightly together, everyone's there, but it's just not finished. So you live in like an unfinished Melrose Place.
Yeah, I guess. It's getting finished, which is half the story.
Getting finished, of course.
Yeah.
Any end in sight?
Well, the backyard, so our backyard is all dirt. And I made a land dock on it. A land dock, for those uninitiated, are
a dock on the land?
Dock on the land.
Interesting.
Yes, that is made of skids that I stole and plywood that I stole. That I stole from the construction company.
Now, by stole, what you really meant is you assembled using pieces that were no longer, that weren't of use anymore.
Sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, they weren't going to use them.
No.
So yeah, I have a great land dock in the back. Me and my neighbors are competing in a dock wars. So we're trying to who's going to have a big dock competition. And now mine's a little bit bigger, which means I get more sunlight during the day. His is a little bit nicer, but I think size is more important than looks.
That's a good point. You and your neighbor, who's got the biggest dock, 2020, quite frankly. We're hoping that both of these docks can get so big, thick, almost. I would love for it to be long lasting too. I would hate for your dock to just go away, or rescind itself. I would hope it just stays big and strong and dark, really stained.
Big dark dock.
Exactly. I hope that stays for many years, Cam, and I hope you get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping to just put grass back here. So yeah, I live in this half-built Melrose Place, and it leads to a lot of conversations with the neighbors. Mostly the easy thing you can always talk about is like, construction's been taking a while, am I right? Because it's been taking for 3 years, and you're like, just such an easy point of conversation. Like, I know, right?
Yeah, I think any question that ends with "Am I right?" You pretty much we can agree with.
You can finish most statements with that. I think
you can finish a lot of things with "Am I right?" and it's just a reason for me to not go any further. If somebody says taxes, am I right? I'm not going to talk about taxes. I'm just going to say, you are right.
You're right. Which reminds me, I actually need to get tax done this weekend.
Tax done this weekend, of course, because it's not due until like August. So you might as well do it now.
Some bullshit.
Might as well do it now.
It's not even for me. It's for my brother. I told him I'd do his taxes. So, I already got my
folks at home, Cam's doing your taxes. Do you want Cam to do your taxes? Reach out to twoceesinapod@gmail.com, where Cameron and I will randomly select who will do your taxes. It's a 50-50 shot. Either you get Cam LeClaire or Cam Osborne. Who do you want doing your taxes?
Now,
let us know.
The caveat is we get to judge your income when it comes in.
That's the point. All off mic. We're not going to bring up your income.
No, I'm telling everybody. I will make fun of you, regardless of the amount of money you had. It could be way more than I have. It probably will be, but I will just destroy it and go, that's all you make, you fucking failure.
But that's not incentive. See, I think the incentive would have been you get your taxes done for free. But the risk is we don't know if it's you or me. You or I. You or me?
You keep it secret. I don't. I like this.
Wow, so that's a double whammy, eh? So like, not only could you potentially have me do your taxes, it's either you have me do your taxes or Cameron LeClaire on air publicly shaming you, your race, your religion, your marital status. Wow, this is not a good competition.
You also put your address on there, and I will look at it.
This is not something that I think the folks at home are going to want to do, but if you do, twoceasinapod@gmail.com. That's the contest as we just laid it out. We'll do your taxes, and it sounds like you're kind of screwed either way.
Hey, let's play a little game here. I got a game prep for you.
Let's go for it.
So, continuing off last month's March Madness, we're now in May Madness with a whole new game, which is your favorite sports team name. And these are ones I guarantee you haven't heard of before because they are not professional. Some are high school, some are college, some are from Thailand. Now, I want to ask you, do you want me to read all of them out first, or do you want me to just go bracket?
I think the bracket is, and I still need to give a reason why.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
so. I don't think you're gonna know any of these teams, but I will. I don't know exactly if they're from college. I just know the sport. I figured that part out.
And you're gonna give me like the place in which they belong to, followed by.
I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you the
cool.
full team.
Okay.
So the first round bracket is the football team, the Philadelphia Soul, versus the Chattanooga Central Purple Pounders.
The Purple Pounders. Wow. I picture that just like a hot grimace. No, I'm going to say Philadelphia Soul because I think John Bon Jovi owns that team. It's an arena football team.
Wow. So that was the biggest upset we've seen so far. My
huge
favorite
upset,
team,
by the way.
Huge upset. I thought the Chattanooga Central Purple Pounders were going to take it home. That was easily my favorite team name I've ever heard.
You get those first round upsets sometimes.
The Purple Pounders, the Central, not even the Central Purple Pounders.
A Purple Pounder is really just like a blood-filled erection, correct? Like just veiny and huge round upset getting on the first round.
I would also like to mention that's a football team as well.
Yeah.
Football team in Chattanooga.
Oh yeah,
wow.
you don't have to tell me which sport it is. You can just
Oh, you don't even care.
No, I don't even care. Oh, no, not for mascot wars.
Oh,
madness.
it's not. This is the full team name.
Oh, the full team name. No, yeah, you're fine. Yeah. You don't have to.
All right, second round. Unbelievable. I can't believe the Soul won through that one. The Victoria Salsa versus the Centralia Orphans. These are real team names, everybody.
The Centralia Orphans. That one's crazy. I'm gonna have to say Vancouver Salsa because those two things aren't associated in any way, shape, or form.
Jeez.
I can just pick. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Salsa.
Wow. Okay, this is shocking here. I would not have expected these answers at all. I've literally disagreed with every answer you've said so far. Next up to bat, the King Faisal Babies versus the Thailand Tobacco Monopoly.
Oh my God. See, the Babies comes with it. Like, what does that mascot look like? But the tobacco company is just like, that's literally Big Tobacco sponsoring a team, and they couldn't come up with a better name. So we got to go with Tobacco Company.
Holy smokes. Okay. All right, and next up we have the where is it here? The UC Santa Cruz Banana Slugs versus the Cardozo Clerks.
God, the Banana Slugs. That's probably
maybe the least intimidating team you've heard of.
The least intimidating thing, possibly less intimidating.
Or the Clerks. Like, what's
possibly
least
less intimidating than the
intimidating?
Babies. But I would love it if. Oh my God, that one's tough. You know what? We're gonna go Cordova Clerks.
The Clerks take it. Wow, incredible. Yeah, I don't know which is the least threatening name.
Yeah.
I think the most threatening name so far is the Chattanooga Central Purple Pounders because no one wants to get in the ring.
So what's the second
with them.
round? Because we have to.
We're gonna keep going.
Yeah, of course. Let's keep going.
I'm just listen.
You're pontificating on this. Okay.
I'm just a little hurt that they didn't take it.
Well.
All right. Next up to bat, second round here, the Philadelphia Soul versus the Vancouver Salsa.
See, damn, I was worried about this matchup because both cities and both of their things have nothing to do with each other. Does soul music come from Philadelphia? Is that a thing? Is it at least
Not really.
pertinent?
No.
The Vancouver Salsa, I mean, like I said, John Bon Jovi made it through that first round for the Philadelphia Soul. Bad Medicine, one of my favorite tracks to
You make love a bad name. Yeah, that one, right?
Also that song, two different songs, both John Bon Jovi, and when you're sitting on the dock of a bay, listening to your favorite John Bon Jovi song.
Sitting on a peninsula.
That's a word. But there's something about the Vancouver Salsa that I just can't help. That it would be like winter, and they're celebrating Mexican culture for some in Vancouver, which I just picture so insane, and nonsensical. So we got to go with Vancouver salsa on this one.
Wow. Right.
Yeah.
Next round up.
Tough. That was tough to say that to John Bon Jovi.
Hey, you're telling me.
It was tough.
Listen, the purple pounders aren't happy. They're All right, next up is the Thailand tobacco monopoly versus the Cordoza clerks.
I think this one's a little easier. Big Tobacco. Big Tobacco gets what they want. They always have, and they're marching their way through the second round here.
Wow. And next up to bat, the final round here to see who has your favorite name, or maybe the worst team name, maybe the best. Who knows? It's really up to your judgment. I picked the. I think these are the best team names ever.
It happens all the time, right? Your first round, or your winner is knocked out of the first round. That shit happens all the time.
Insane. So next up to bat is the Vancouver Salsa versus the Tobacco. Sorry, the Thailand Tobacco.
Thailand Tobacco,
a soccer team
company.
Out of Thailand versus a hockey team out of Vancouver.
Wow, hockey salsa. That brings a whole new level to why this makes no sense. Shit, maybe I should have gone this whole time hearing what the team what sport they were playing. Oh my god, cuz now like are their jerseys like bright reds and oranges? I picture a lot of like kind of things. I picture so many.
I want to know what their mascot
stereotypes. Yeah, where Big Tobacco, I feel, would run their soccer team very regimented, like an army. And I wish we could bring back the days of hacking a dart on the bench. You know, at halftime or something, you go back to the locker room. You're like, "Hey, coach, give me a cigarette." You know, it helps calm you down.
I feel that.
And as a lifetime supporter or a former supporter of Big Tobacco, I got to support their sports franchises also.
Nice. And I think that was definitely my number 2. Actually, it was technically not my number 2, but definitely high up there. The Thailand tobacco monopoly takes the victory here.
It's like Monopoly too. It's like Big Tobacco in Thailand, the one company. It's
unbelievable. So I'll read you the list of where they actually.
Please.
So I'll go through my list and I'll tell you also what sport they play. So number 1, the Chattanooga Central Purple Pounders was a football team. My second rank was the Centralia Orphans. So you also took that out, and that's a basketball team.
That's funny. From where?
Centralia.
Where's that?
I assume it's Latin America.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought you had that. Popped up.
No. I mean, I can't pull this all up. Their logo. I would highly recommend you pull up their logo, though. So actually, the team's been around from. It's been 100 years of basketball.
Wow.
At the Centralia Orphans. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, this.
It's a little okay for folks at home who don't know what we're talking about right here. So the mascot, or like the logo, is what appears to be a young man, a young blonde boy, with a basketball, just kind of dribbling.
I'm trying to figure where Centralia is, the home of the orphans.
That's
wow,
too funny.
Centralia High School,
yeah, Centralia High
home
School
of the orphans
in Illinois, Cam.
Illinois. There
Cam,
we go.
don't you have a journalism degree? Isn't that part of that pre-prep research? I mean, you're so natural here on the radio. I just assumed you were trained.
I just love that the home of the orphans.
Yeah, they call
home of the orphans.
Home field is called the orphanage, baby. I'm sure they have many cheers about not being selected for a home, eventually being put into foster care.
You know what they say their 4th year is?
What?
Up for adoption.
This is perfect. See, actually, Cam, we got to give a lot more props to the orphans here, because like they built their team vibe around their mascot. They have names for their seniors, a name for their home court advantage, all these sorts of like puns that go along with it. You got to respect a well-crafted series of puns.
Love it. Number 3, the Thailand Tobacco Monopoly, which is a soccer team out of Thailand.
Perfect.
That's fantastic. The UC Santa Cruz Banana Slugs is multiple teams. It's the whole UC Santa Cruz school is the Banana Slugs.
You're right. Okay.
A little bit,
Makes sense.
a little bit bizarre. The Cardozo Clerks is a football team.
American football or
I believe so.
The other one.
Let's double check that actually, because I didn't double check that.
Because I'm gonna say unless it's like Cordoza High School or something like that, you know.
Oh no, it's Cardozo High School.
There you go.
The next one, the King Faisal Babies, is a soccer team, and that's my number 6 pick. Number 7 was the Vancouver Salsa, which is a high school team.
Made it all the way to the finals. Real Cinderella story.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. And when I there we go. Okay, and number 8 is the Philly Soul, which is a football team, which was just kind of like seemed out of place.
Man in the first round, but hey, John Bon Jovi, your love is like bad medicine, baby.
I would also love to give out a shout out to an honorable mention, which was the Switzerland soccer team, which is a quite high level, the Bern Young Boys.
The Young Boys from Bern. What was your hockey mascot in Orangeville, Mono?
We were in Aaron, and it was the Raiders.
Aaron
Raiders.
So Aaron had its own team. It was large enough to support its own like multiple levels, or did it miss out on maybe a couple age groups?
What do you mean? Oh, you mean for like not for the high school?
No, like the hockey team you played on.
We were the Devils. We were the Aaron Devils.
Okay, so yeah, there was still enough. You always mention your town to be this like incredibly small place, but I guess it did have enough people to facilitate.
Well, everyone just loved hockey.
A hockey league, I guess. Yeah, what else are you gonna do?
You can only make 4 teams for house league, and then you'd play against the neighboring towns. So you'd play against your Laura,
that makes sense.
You'd play
that
against
makes sense.
Fergus. You'd play against Arthur.
Right, the other incredibly
and they would
small
also
towns.
have like 2 or 3 teams. Right, you're like hate playing against the Allura Red team this year, but really you'd be like, I just don't like playing against this certain player who's on that team this year.
Allura Blue, you were like, oh, we'll kick the
Some years.
shit out of them.
There used to be a guy on the Arthur team who was missing an arm, and the problem with as you know, because you don't have family, but
I have missing arms.
Yeah, because you don't have any arms.
As we both know, I don't have any arms. Yes, my father is a prosthetist. He makes artificial limbs.
Now, the problem with artificial limbs, or at least this kid's artificial limbs, is anytime you checked him, the arm came off.
That's too bad.
Yeah, unfortunate, but definitely a good way to slow down the play.
But he kept getting out there. Which is fantastic. And choosing the non-sledge hockey route. A lot of
you can't choose sledge hockey if you're losing one arm.
Yeah, that you qualify. You're a fucking amputee. You qualify. Yeah, because you would have the stick on that fucking hand. I think you would count. I don't think they would turn you away.
I don't think so, yeah.
I don't think they would turn you away. You have 3 out of 4 limbs. I'm pretty sure you can play on the wheelchair basketball team if you chose to. Fuck. See, if you're talking mascots or talking whomever, I only played house league level hockey, but we were the Newmarket Redmen.
Ooh,
yeah,
that one's a little bit spicy.
That one's a little
that goes by
dicey,
today.
and it was in the logo wasn't that. The logo was just Newmarket with a large uppercase R.
Oh, I like that. That's a good
logo. There was no ever graphic of
native person.
The mascot itself.
The man who may be red.
Yeah, but that was the logo. Yeah, I don't know.
I like that. I like the big R though. That's a fun one.
I think it was Oh, that's a fun little play on the slur. Would you say mascots are?
We also had a junior C team, which was the Aaron Shamrock, and they had good jerseys.
Oh, that's not offensive though. I think you can say.
Shamrocks are fine. Yeah, no, of
fine.
course I don't.
Oh, okay.
There's literally nothing wrong with that. I just like the name, the Shamrocks. It's a great name.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you had a little shamrock on the jersey.
Same name.
Wait. The neighboring town shared the same name as you.
I know, right?
That's like
just different level. Like it was like junior B.
that's
so,
like
like,
that's like in the CFL when both Saskatchewan and Ottawa had the name Rough Riders.
Yeah, you're like, you got
And
8
there was
teams.
like 8
Figure this
teams
shit out.
total. Yeah.
When I was looking up worst team names, though, you know what came up pretty often?
What's that?
The Alouettes. It's just a bird. Just a
Yeah,
shitty bird.
I bet that's also who knows, maybe an American skewing website could
Yeah, I mean, they had a lot of ones for like hockey. They're like, I agreed with them. Like Minnesota Wild is a pretty shit name, but
Yeah,
they also had
but-
a lot of basketball. Like the Utah Jazz, really the Jazz.
Well, basketball's the funny one too because there's 2 examples of teams that moved and kept the name. Right? So the Utah Jazz used to be in New Orleans where they were called the New Orleans Jazz, right? The home of jazz. They got moved to Utah in like the 60s, 70s, kept the team name. Have you ever wondered if there are any lakes in Los Angeles?
Never thought about it.
Right? So the Minneapolis Lakers, the land of 1,000 lakes, their team wasn't doing too well in the 60s, moved to Los Angeles, kept the
The
team name.
Lakers.
Kept
Yeah,
the
I
team
guess that
name.
one just like burnt into your mind. The Lakers.
You
just
think
don't even
LA
twice.
you think LA Lakers yeah, it's synonymous, right?
A lot of the lists had the Leafs as well because like it's not even a real word. You're like it's military. I don't fully understand it. Just heritage. You're like okay.
The maple leaf, it's a leaf. It's a real thing. It's a
Yeah.
tangible object you can touch.
Also the most popular team. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the Toronto Raptors, right? A team
Raptors.
whose name derives from the popularity of the film Jurassic Park.
Really?
There's no other reason. Yeah, they There were 4 options. Like I think they polled the city and like asked the city to which one you want to name. And I think one of the other options, was either the T-Rexes or the Rexes, Tyrannosaurus, something in that, like the Toronto T-Rexes.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
But the Raptors, being like the more popular character from Jurassic Park, are okay, we're gonna get some emails about that. I know who's gonna write some emails about that comment. But the Raptors, arguably the more popular of the dinosaurs from the Jurassic Park franchise, we got the name.
See, I'm on board with that too. I think that the Toronto T-Rexes, you're like, sounds a little off.
It sounds a little off.
I think some other ones that made the list. Let me think. The Browns, Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, who knows where that one came? Maybe. I picture Cleveland
just shit
looking
team, garbage. I mean,
smelling
that's the
like
joke doesn't write
shit.
itself, so
People look
I'm
like
not gonna take credit
shit.
for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like just those deep college names that you're like, what on earth? Like the there's one team that's just called the Engineers, I think.
Nice.
And you're like, really?
U of
Wow,
W
yeah.
engineers.
That's it, eh? Couldn't come up with anything else. You're like, no, we're good with that one. All right.
funny.
Well, plowing ahead here, I think we both
Cam,
did,
you
did some.
you kicked off with the game. Cam, you didn't even let me recap the show from last week. Of course,
No,
episode
let's do
19 last week. This is our 20th week of appearing live on the radio for your ears, but sometimes we get some notes from corporate. Notes. We got some notes. We got some notes. Notes. We got some notes. Of course, as we know, Cam and I have a lot of money due to charitable work that we've done with other people. We have the business here at Two Seasons Pod is ever expanding. Our building's getting bigger. Cam and I both have offices on the top floor, mine in a beautiful corner, lots of sun overlooking the city behind us. Cam, you chose the office with no windows, which I thought was a bit surprising.
Yeah, I just stayed locked in and focused.
Just like to stay locked in. Of course, you had the option of, very large tables, chair, a very large bookshelf behind him. Cam, you chose it's sort of like a closet that you can kind of walk around in. Kind of like a walk-in. You feel like you work better in a little tight environment?
I like to say humble.
I like to... You like to stay humble, but yeah, like we said, the corporate office is ever expanding. Now I was taking a walk down there in the photography department, and kind of like the multimedia side of our business. Of course, we have great photos coming out every week, exclusive video content for all the Patreon subscribers, as we know.
$200 a month to be a Patreon subscriber.
If you only $200 a month, and you get unlimited access to the Two Season a Pod radio feed. New episodes are released every single week. They're approximately an hour to an hour and a half. And
with the Patreon, you get it half an hour early.
Yeah, you'll get it early. You will get a direct MP3 sent to your email address. So you gotta sign up. You gotta sign up there. Like I was saying, I went down to the photography department, multimedia, the videography department, and I got some notes about something that we said last week, a la Sex and the City.
Ooh.
I go in here for you, because, like I said, you're such a Carrie, Cam, or say you're such a Samantha, describing your personality traits.
Right.
The note that we got
You said you understood the reference. Let's be clear on this. You said you don't need to understand the reference, but you understand the reference.
Oh, yeah. No, certainly I do. The notes that we got was to inform our fans specifically about what we're talking about. So this was something that was sort of, I got this in a fax. This was faxed over to me from that insane, from the multimedia department. Anyways, if you are such a Carrie, that probably means you have a great fashion sense. You're a part of the community of the upscale bars and restaurants.
Okay. Let's write these down. Then let's try and judge each other based on what we think we are versus what we think the other person is, and then
This is perfect. This character, of course, is the one played by Sarah Jessica Parker. The show is narrated through Carrie's perspective. It's always going to skew slightly that way. Carrie, upper scale, off and on relationships with a series of gross-looking old men, short of Mr. Big, who's kind of like the one you kind of keep going back to. So, you have a one thing, but many things on the side. You might be acting more like a Samantha, though. You could be independent, strong, confident, outspoken, and a self-proclaimed trisexual, meaning you'll try anything once. You have many fleeting sexual experiences. However, you will eventually settle down with a younger man who supports you through your life and everything you are. But it's going to be a very sad ending. Okay? You may be acting more like a Charlotte, though. A Charlotte, you come from a wealthy family, you're a straight A student, you are a homecoming queen, prom queen, student body president, everything, all those sorts of things. You work at an art gallery, very modest. One could say you are the antithesis of what it means to be a Samantha. If that makes sense, just the you're always looking for your knight in shining armor, where Samantha is you're more interested in a series of fleeting sexual experiences. And finally, there's always four people in a crew. You could be more like a Miranda, you're a career driven lawyer. Or just doing whatever times you do. You're oftentimes the confidant and voice of reason to somebody who is acting more like a Carrie. You have, opposed fleeting sexual experiences, you have long-term partners, but it's probably going to end fairly sad.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can be any one of these four types of people. Folks at home, Cam, you or I. So what, you want us to tell who we think the other one is? Who we think us are?
Both.
Okay, so, Cam, how about with all the information that you just got, do you want to take a stab at it, or do you want me to?
Okay, so I'm going to put you as a Charlotte and me as a Miranda.
Okay, so I'm a Charlotte, straight A student, homecoming queen, prom queen, student body president, always looking for their knight in shining armor. You're a Miranda, though. You're career-minded. You're the confidant and a voice of reason to others going through things in their life. Mm-hmm. Looking for longer term relationships.
And where do you put me and you?
See, I was gonna say, oh my god, this one's tough. What do I put me? Okay, you are the easy one because I was going to say that you were a Charlotte.
Oh,
because
could you repeat the Charlotte?
Charlotte, of course, comes from a nice family, straight A student, homecoming queen, prom queen, cheerleader, student body president. Looking for their knight in shining armor. The opposite of the Samantha character, right? Whose fleeting sexual experiences will try anything once. So I always thought of you as more of a Charlotte. However, I see myself as just being a Carrie. Carrie contributes every week to her weekly column in the New York Times called Sex and the City, where she pontificates about the shit, whatever she has to say, which is kind of like what I get to do for an hour and a half here on the show every week. Because of all you listeners who get to read the column or listen to the podcast, I'm definitely a Carrie. I think you're a Charlotte.
I'm going to post that on my LinkedIn right now and say, do people think I'm a Charlotte?
More of a Charlotte. So long story short,
debating,
folks.
am I more of a Charlotte or a Miranda?
Long story short, folks, if you identify with any of these characters, let us know. Of course, twoceesinapod at gmail.com. Who you think we would be, who you think you are. And if you
I don't even know how to feel that you think I'm a Charlotte. I don't really understand what it means, but it seems good.
I think it's a good thing, and I think the folks at home would really enjoy it, folks. If you like watching middle-aged white women have HBO-level sex with mostly unattractive older white men, then Sex and the City could be the show for you.
You'll love Two Season a Pod.
And you'll love Two Season Pod. You'll love Sex and the City, because step aside Game of Thrones, because this is the show where 50 is the new 22. Have you ever wondered what your divorced parents' sex life is like? Look no further than Sex and the City. Are you so into sex? Are you into sex so saggy that you no longer know what body part it is? Sex and the City could be for you. That's my recommendation. And thanks for all those notes that we got.
Thanks, corporate up top. Jim, Larry, Mike. Big shouts out to the.
Of course, no women here work at the show, apparently. Of course. And man, did you hear Marcy in accounting got fired? Did you hear about this?
Did she?
Yeah, she just got let go. And that new guy, Jim, that new really funny guy, Jim. I mean, I know he wasn't really good at accounting, but. I heard they both just kind of got let go.
Yeah, well, times are tough, everyone's facing things in their own ways.
That's true. Amen, brother.
That's where you can say it. Literally anything that anyone says.
Yeah.
Say, did you hear that gas is down? You go, yeah, times are tough. Everyone's dealing with things in their own ways. Just literally anything. Like, I just had a baby. You're like, yeah, times are tough. Let everyone deal with things in their own ways.
Times are tough. Yeah, Jesus.
I do a podcast. Times are tough.
Times are tough. Times are tough. We're still doing.
Speaking of being times are tough, I want to ask you: Are you getting weird dreams lately?
Am I getting weird dreams? I've been getting weird dreams lately, but that's only because I think we've been playing Call of Duty a lot.
So I read online why most people are getting weird dreams is because no one has that much mental stimulation right now. So everyone's getting these wacko dreams. So I wanted to share with you some of the dreams I've had. Maybe you could share some with me.
Bring it on. You know what, Cam? I'll cut you off right there. I don't remember many dreams, but my dreams have certainly been a lot more active now. Or I can recall having dreams.
Right. Which I think everyone has, and I think maybe we'll make this our 15th segment of the show. Just rolling from segment to segment here, killing it. So my two most recent dreams are 2 nights. So the first night was that I had a total knee replacement, which tells you that I'm maybe working a little bit too much. Now this
is interesting, Cam, because not too long ago, or a few months ago before all of this, you did visit a surgery where they were amputating on somebody's knee, correct?
They weren't amputating. Amputating means removing.
Or they were replacing somebody's knee.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember Chris, the bro surgeon.
But I don't know. I don't remember that part. I don't remember like watching surgery. It was just me recovering from it. And
so the painful, tedious process of learning to walk again.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So I had crutches, and my friends are like, "Come on, it's your birthday. Let's go get sushi." And I'm like, "I got these stupid crutches. I'm on painkillers. Like, just dumb dream."
We all know you can't get sushi with crutches. Yeah, the two just don't work.
Rule.
You could slip on a sushi on the ground, fall, break your other leg.
And the second one that I had last night was I was the chief negotiator on a Formula One team where I was trying to decide who the next driver for the team was.
What? That's a job people have? I didn't even know that was a job.
I don't know. It wasn't my dream, and I was not ready for the position either. They threw me in there, and I was not ready for it.
Now, Cam, you watched that Formula One show last week, which is the first time I've ever heard you even bring up Formula One. Now, you brought it up twice in as many weeks. I'm getting worried.
That I might become the chief negotiator on the Formula One team?
You may feel the need for speed, and hop in an F1 car.
I got a need for speed.
Which, as we all know, is far more dangerous than NASCAR cars.
Do we all know that?
I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, but at least NASCAR has like the hood around it, right? It's like a car. Those are some particularly interesting dreams.
It feels like every night I wake up, I have another dream. The other night I had a dream that I started a business of making T-shirts.
Oh, what did they say what did the shirt say? Oh no, you fabricated shirts.
Yeah, No, I was just like trying to make money on the side. Like every night it feels like I go to bed, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like these dreams, I'm just tired of it. When I had my dream about getting a knee replacement, I woke up and it was flexing my knee back and forth like, yeah, baby, this thing moves good.
Yeah, baby, I don't need a knee replacement. Look at this.
I'm still in my 20s, bitch. I don't need a fucking knee replacement yet. Maybe
look at this knee. Dreams. It's working like 82%. It's perfect.
It's pretty damn good. It works most of the time. When I got my knee replacement, not my knee replacement, when I tore my meniscus, I remember sometimes my knee would just collapse on me. So I'd be walking and then it would just like stop working and I would just fall flat face first. It was tough.
Yeah, since after I dislocated my patella when I was a kid or younger in high school or whatever, there was a couple times where afterwards I just nicked it the wrong way. I remember one time I was putting the dishes away out of the dishwasher, so the lid was, or the cover was down, and I just kind of backed into it, and the way that I nicked it, like my kneecap went out and back in. Just like a quick one, but you knew
it just floats. It's weird.
Yeah, it gets kind of like a. And then I'm on the ground for like 20 minutes.
For those who don't know what the patella is, it is the kneecap. So your knee is two bones that touch each other, and then you have, imagine like a little ball bearing in the middle that allows them to move well, and that is the patella. So you can actually grab your knee right now. Everyone, put your legs out, and then feel that part in the middle that wiggles. Yeah, that's your patella. It shouldn't move that much, but it definitely does.
Yeah, it should stay where it is, and it definitely shouldn't go move like a hand, like a few inches to the outside of your body. Because you don't want it on the outside of your body.
It's only attached to tendons. It's not actually attached to the bone. Which is funny enough.
Exactly. See,
me as a medical professional would know this.
Cam LeClaire, medical professional. It says so on his business cards. I can see behind him he has his bookshelf, just encyclopedias of the human body. Human genitalia,
mostly that.
You have a lot of human genitalia encyclopedias behind you.
Full books on just the vulva.
There's a lot to know, apparently. There's a lot to. No, oh my god!
Here.
I was about to sneeze again. I'm so sorry, Cam. I'm so sorry, listeners. What's the rule on when you're about to sneeze when you're live on radio? I don't know. I didn't go to journalism school. I mean, I guess the show has to go on.
It's a quick slide back out of your chair. And it's a right hand like that.
Right, not at all loud and possible for listeners to hear. Cam, let's keep moving on with the show.
Exactly. Keep it rolling here.
What do we have coming up next?
We got coming up next our movie review for this week.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
The part that I also don't like about it is that
this was fantastic, of course.
No, never seen it. Never seen it.
I love what you're doing. Wow.
I like that. Okay, so I got a few things. Yeah, I don't think we have time to do this. And this week we decided to review the movie Batman, the original first ever one that we did.
That's true. That's the whole marquee. Batman, the original.
The first one.
Hyphen, the first one we ever did.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, he's talking about the 1989
the
Tim Burton classic. Batman, of course, starring Michael Keaton, starring Kim Basinger. We've got Jack Nicholson.
And I have some notes on this, which I took.
This was fantastic, of course, Cam. This is probably a movie you've never seen before. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Never seen it. Never
as a kid, you don't remember that version of Batman, McDonald's toys, things like that?
Not really. No, this was pretty new to me.
This was pretty new to you.
Well, I mean, the whole concept of Batman was like, I knew that part, but the storyline itself was brand new.
So Cam, why don't you just tell me about it, because you have some notes, like you just said.
Okay, so I got a few things that I noticed about the movie, which I had some slight issues with. Maybe not issues, but just notes on. So the first thing I noticed is his suit is very rigid, which makes every movement, makes his shoulders move as much of his head. So anytime he turns, like when you turn your head, you can normally turn your head, but he can't do that. So he has to turn his shoulders and head, which makes him look very bizarre every time he makes a movement. That's my first note. No,
okay, you're just gonna just scratch that off the list. Okay, keep going.
All right. I liked that.
Do you want me to comment on what you're saying?
You can. I mean, this is who cares, right?
Or how do these normally go? See, ideally, I think we should start like opening credits. We're winding down.
Oh, I didn't.
We're winding down this rocky road. Credits are coming up. It sort of looks like we're going down a tunnel. It kind of like eventually we pan out, and then we see that the camera's going along the outline of the bat symbol, and it says Batman.
Yeah, I don't think we have time to do this.
We don't have time for a 2.5 hour
I guess we could,
excerpt. Next time we talk about a movie.
Next time we
start
just
the
go
credits.
Yeah,
and
from
then
now on we just go through that movie. No other movies.
No. These will be the exclusive Patreon shows. You pay $200 a month.
$200 a month.
You get these exclusive minute for minute movie reviews.
Next one is how he became the Joker. He fell into the water and he ruined his face.
The acid.
So now I've seen like a few different ways that he's become the Joker. That's probably my least favorite way, that he fell into acid. And the part that I also don't like about it is that when you see that he's alive, he puts his hand up out of the acid. Like, that's the first thing you're gonna do when you're underwater.
The Terminator falling, like Terminator descending into the lava pit.
Yeah, exactly. You lift your hand up like, I'm still alive. Like, that's not the first thing you do if you're still alive. Not even close. That's not. You're like, oh, this would be
okay.
If there was a camera here,
I love what you're doing.
Sure.
Are you now just like pointing out logical flaws in art, or are you coming at this from a I enjoyed this, I did not enjoy this type of view? Because
I'm reading the notes.
I think if any of us fell in acid, obviously you would first probably flail and try to get yourself out, but for the sense of the dramatic purpose, you can at least understand why the hand falling down appears more dramatic, correct? Because we are to assume that falling in acid actually killed this character. That way, when the reveal happens later on, that it actually enhanced him and brought out like his craziness. It was not the last we saw of him. You know? Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying.
Because if we're pointing out logical flaws, the man has a grappling hook.
Which is the next one that I have. There's two more as well. All right. The next one that I have is there's two separate scenes where the Joker is watching the news. And the first one, he presses a button which has a boxing glove attached to a spring-loaded system to punch the TV to break it. A lot of stuff wrong with this. Who makes the machine?
Cam, this is really falling downhill, because now it just sounds like an old man watching a new movie.
Anyway, next thing is then he shoots a TV, which made me think, you have a lot of TVs around. This sure seems like a waste. Next line.
Next line, as he flips the page of his scrapbook over.
These are just the major notes I take.
Yeah, I thought
All right.
so.
I thought it was funny that Jack Nicholson was the character. His name was Jack, which would have made it very easier on scene. I'm gonna put a check mark there.
I'm gonna put a check mark beside that. I love it. Why make a whole new name for a person? Just give him his other name.
That's right.
That's a good point.
So the last note that I had was that in one scene, Batman is about to take the female lead character up a
Vicky Vale
grappling hook. Yeah, Vicky Vale up his grappling hook. He shoots it and he asks, "How much do you weigh?" Do you remember what number she said?
I think she says 108.
108.
Yeah.
I'm going to say she lied about that one. She does not weigh 108 pounds, and that took me out of the movie when she said, about 108 pounds? Like, oh, I didn't know that you were 4 feet tall.
Cam, I don't mean to call you out on it. They use the grappling hook and get stuck halfway through, and then he asks her again, 108? As in, she lied about her weight because she's trying to impress
that part.
Batman.
Oh, fuck.
This is not the first time you've missed something from a movie and then been like, what the hell?
I need to rewatch
Batman comments on it once they get stuck. And then I think that's when he detaches himself.
Yes.
So she goes straight up.
Do everything but hold on. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that the joke there
Okay,
is...
I'm wrong on that one. So I'm gonna put that as an X for me on that one.
An X for you. Okay, so
yeah.
It seems like we have a thumb up and a thumb down so far. We have one check mark and one like X, yeah.
And that is my critical analysis of the Batman franchise.
Mostly practical things of like this wouldn't be possible. I think, which is important to it all. But one thing you have to remember, Cam, this is 1989, right? Not only was it 1989, it was the first time we got to see Batman in a movie, which was also crazy. You know, Batman's a lot of fun. For the young viewer, of course, right? I don't know.
Did you have any critical analysis of the movie that are different than mine?
No,
I'm a segment where it's just I watch a movie, point out the flaws, and then you point out why I'm wrong.
No, I don't think it's certainly not a matter of that. Do I have anything I don't like about this movie? There's a couple funny things when Vicky Vale so they have their date at Wayne Manor, and that's real funny, and then they eventually go up and they bang, and then next morning...
Oh, she's very drunk when they bang as well.
Yeah.
Not okay in these days.
But next morning, they wake up, and she's like, hey, let's go to my house for lunch, and he's like, oh, actually, I can't. I have stuff to do today, and then she treats him like he's a dick, which I just always find funny because, yeah, it's like the next morning. You probably have shit to do.
Yeah, it's not like you just carved out 2 days.
That part always gets me. There's some great practical effects around that church scene, like when the Batwing crashes into the church. I think that's super cool. The Batwing is awesome. Also,
yeah.
I love how it has that. Every version of Batman has that one gadget that is seemingly you wouldn't have, but it works in that one. It's like Adam West had the shark repellent spray that he would use for sharks, but this one had this like cable cutter on the front of the Batwing that cut the cables of the balloons that Jack uses to poison the city with. It's very cartoony, just real fun.
It's just fun, yeah. It's just something where you like...
It's a lot of fun, and Batman will always be that, right? I think, the coolest part about Batman is that we're in on it. Like, we know Bruce Wayne is Batman, but nobody else in the movie does. Like, we know the two of them are the same person, and it's sort of like we're inside on this like inside information that nobody in Gotham City knows who he is.
There's a word for that in theater, and I can't. Do you remember what that's called?
A word for it. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like like as in the third person is in on. what's happening within the story. I know what you're saying. Yeah, like there'll be characters within the story who don't know.
It's called dramatic irony. I just looked it up. So
Okay.
dramatic irony occurs when the audience knows something that is going on in a situation, but the characters are unaware of what's going on. So it'd be a dramatic irony.
Exactly. And every time we see Bruce Wayne, we're like, "Oh shit, that's Batman." Every time you see Batman, you know it's Bruce Wayne, but nobody else in the movie does. There's like 3 people who we know: him, Alfred, and then eventually Vicky Vale, who, by the way, after like knowing her for a week, Alfred's all like, "Hey Bruce, you need to tell Vicky Vale who you are." And Bruce is like, "Are you you can't give me like a month?
Yeah, you're like
Another week?" He's just immediately like, "You need to tell her right now." It's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? We have sex like 3 times and I have to tell her I'm Batman?"
You're like, "I've been hiding this from literally. This is my greatest
I've been hiding this
secret."
for years, and then you're all of a sudden like, "Well, this bitch, you might as well just tell this bitch." Very weird, very weird. But all in all, a lot of fun.
That concludes our critical analysis of Batman, the first movie, the first one they did.
Yeah, Batman Part 1, the first movie they ever did. Stay tuned next week. Of course, Patreon subscribers, you'll hear it 30 minutes prior.
Should we pick a movie now that viewers can watch?
You could. I've got nothing kind of on the brain to think about.
Maybe you can post it in our Instagram, and then we have some time to think about it.
That sounds great. Yeah, take some time, Cam. I think I've pioneered, or I've definitely watched the last few movies, and you've caught up with me. Of course, because
Except for Ocean's 11.
Because
I
refused to watch the Ocean's 11, 12,
watch that
and
one.
13
I'm
franchise.
now putting my foot in the sand and never watching that.
Controversially, you will not watch Oceans, but that's okay. So, Cam, I think you should pick the next one to watch. We'll talk about it off mic, and then maybe the listeners at home
pick like Saw 7 or something like that.
One of the best. I know. I think it can be whatever you want to watch. Whatever you want to watch.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. Well, we've been the time has been getting away from us. We haven't even started our official games. Do we want to skip this, or do we want to keep playing them? We're already an hour in.
We're an hour in, baby. We've been doing so much other stuff. How about we cut off on the free on Kijiji, but we always have to end the show the same way. We can't not end the show with some headline or asinine.
Hey, headline, headline or asinine.
You know how the game's played. Of course, there's 3 headlines.
You have to decide if they're from Ohio or not.
You have to decide, are they exclusive to the state of Ohio, or are they not from the state of Ohio? That's up to you. So, Cam, how about you kick it off and give me one?
I would love to. Man arrested for biting a snake to death.
Biting a snake to death. Jesus Christ. So first of all, how would you be arrested for that? Like, a cop would have to be there during this presumably private act of snake biting. Also, notice how he said biting and not eating? Like, if you were just like to bite the head off a snake, I guess that's not eating it. Yeah, you're biting the head off of it. Are you doing it in protest? You're showing up to, a town hall meeting with a snake in your back pocket and just trying to bite the head off? Or maybe you're a big Ozzy Osbourne fan. Maybe this was like a rock band thing, like the guy's playing a concert, bites the head off a snake, spits it at the audience, blood everywhere, it's all cool. Doesn't make much sense though. That's why I think it's a headline.
That is a headline, and it's from I think like Malaysia area, where it's a very bizarre story where a man ran over a rat snake, which is a big yellow snake, and then was drinking a bottle of booze the first day that they were allowed to drink again on his moped. So I think that's maybe why he got arrested.
Wait, so he was drinking on the moped?
He was drinking on a moped, hit a snake, picked up the snake, put it around his neck, and then started biting it and eating it. You can find the video online. If you search that up, I
don't want to see this video.
It's just like
or
bizarre.
Do I? Oh my god!
And then he was arrested, and it doesn't really explain why he was arrested. But I think there's a lot wrong there, where you can just pick something.
Interesting. That's crazy. We're gonna have to put that video on the side to watch because I can't get that out of my head.
Yeah, very bizarre.
Bizarre. How bizarre?
Let me hear it,
How
champ.
bizarre. Boo-doo-doo, boo-doo. What song is that? Anyways, Cam, hio or no hio? This one's tough, Cam. Coronavirus found in men's semen.
Ooh. Sure hope not. Now, I wish I could create this long story about why they found this, but I think research diagnoses everything. Yeah, I know that's part of the fun, but there's just not much to it, right? It's just, it could be they were just doing research because they're just doing research, and they're like, what else can we look at today? They're like, well, this seems to be getting funded by the government, so let's research this. And they looked it up, and they're like, incredible. Doesn't seem like it spreads, but it seems like we can tell based on semen. And that's why I'm going to call asinine.
Cam, that's a headline.
Fuck.
Headline straight
So
out of... So straight out of this was research done in a Chinese hospital. This is like pretty new news, actually. The Shanglu Municipal Hospital tested 38 male patients. This was back while China was in the height of their pandemic in January and February. Out of those 38 male patients, 16% of them had evidence of coronavirus in their semen. And about a quarter of them were in the acute stage of the infection, while 9% were recovering. So it does exist there, not in everybody, but this isn't the first time
that something spread, like this has happened. Like in the semen or no?
It like, what do you mean? Like, can you then
pass it?
If you,
I guess that's not your main concern. Like if you're getting that close, you're probably gonna get it anyway.
That's pretty much true. The further research has to come is whether or not it itself could be transmitted sexually.
Bail on the research. Like, listen, if we're getting close enough where you're taking the person's semen, you probably caught it.
That's pretty much what the research has concluded, Cam. Like, if you're in the semen exchanging point of a relationship, you're transmitting something to each other in other ways. But it's not new though. You know, Ebola could be found in semen and actually spread through semen, sometimes months after male patients recovered from Ebola.
Incredible. I didn't know
that. Yeah. So, just watch where you're throwing your loads around.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hio or no hio, fugitive caught after blowing his cover with fart.
Wait. Say that again, sorry.
Fugitive caught after blowing his cover with fart. Like a fart. Like a flash.
Okay, fart. You just said fart. I thought it stood for like the Federal Anti-Reserve Tech or something. You know, like
it stood for up to you to decide.
How would you, like, what could your cover have be that's blown? I mean, that's sounds like such a natural human thing, unless like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you do it when you're nervous. If you were being in a situation when like someone is like badgering you to tell you their real information, you got nervous, you let one slip. And I'm sure it's happened. And I guess it must have been loud, not one of those like silent ones, because this is a silent one you can pawn off on somebody else. But if it's loud, you know where it's coming from. That's asinine.
That's a headline from the BBC, May 7th headline. So this is actually just yesterday. A man who hid in the bushes in an attempt to evade police blew his cover when he farted.
Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, then the whole thing is just filled with fart puns, so I'm not going to read it.
You're going to save us all the rest. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you know, you're hiding in a bush. You don't want to get caught. That makes sense. You let one rip. Okay, yeah. Cam, I got another headline for you here. Hio or no hio? 10-year-old calls police claiming her parents wouldn't let her use TikTok.
Ooh, I could definitely see a 10-year-old doing this because the kids are bored. Kids are doing the TikTok and they're not stopping. The parents do the logical thing and take the phone away. She starts screaming. They don't respond to it. She goes, I'm going to call the police on you. They go, go ahead. Go ahead. Give them the empty threat. And then she does. And then she goes, I called the police on you. And they go, you did what? And then they show up and it makes the news. And that's a headline.
That's asinine. I made that one up.
That's a good one. I'm gonna look that up right now. No, I won't do that because that's distraction, and we learned something
that could be a distraction. Because as we all know, if I don't have your you're 100% focused during the show.
Cam sometimes puts a spinning wheel on the top of his screen to make sure I stay looking at that.
Yeah, just so you can look at it, right? Just kind of like a baby, just like jingling keys for a baby. I do have to say, I went to the CN Tower back in February or maybe like early March before or back when the CN Tower was open, and I saw kids TikToking. And like I saw a mom holding up her phone for the, I don't know, it was a whole, I don't know, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing I was not prepared to see.
Yeah,
that's about it.
A tough one. It just makes you have less confidence in next generation.
Certainly.
Well, headline or asinine.
I just didn't think dancing was cool. That's my biggest thing.
I have never said that.
No, me personally.
You don't think dancing's cool?
Or I didn't think dancing was cool, or like
I don't think that's what makes it cool, though. I think it just makes it like something fun, and I don't know. I think dancing.
But there's like guys doing it. I feel like when I was 13, if I was dancing on an app, like that's a whole different set of things. I find it so weird that like I don't know that young boys are dancing on an app.
The Burn Young Boys?
To hip-hop songs. I just don't get it.
The team from Switzerland, the Burn Young Boys, are doing TikTok?
The Burn Young Boys, of course. The Cordova Orphans, whatever they were called.
Oh, boy.
You're up for adoption in your senior year.
When they're in the bullpen. So getting their papers ready. Yeah. All right, headline or asinine. Germany apologizes after deleting Israel off a map.
How do you delete a country? See, okay, so you're giving a map of the world, or like a globe, to all the classrooms or something, right? Where they can see this country's here, this country's here, and then what? Do you just leave a blank space in the exact size?
We don't acknowledge that one.
In the exact shape of the country?
Like, that's bizarre. Is there like a lake there? You're like, nothing's there. Because there's no dirt. There's no nothing. No one owns it. You're like, nothing.
Because that means that like this, you're printing a map is going to be like a PDF document, and then it's as if the PDF document was comprised of a bunch of different puzzle pieces, the exact size of countries.
Yeah, and
then they did kind of like a find and replace search, and then just kind of backspaced.
Yeah,
like to specifically only count out one country. Sounds dumb, but it sounds possible. No, I think Germany's trying to be cool now. Ever since that whole, that whole thing, I think they're trying to be nice. So I'm going to say that's asinine.
Yeah, no, that's a headline, and it was from a military document. Basically, all that happened was they included Israel in Germany, or Israel in Jordan as the same country. So Jordan just extended, and then I guess it got out, and they're like, someone obviously knows. So they're like, did they make Jordan like the same as Israel? And someone's like, shit, I think they did. So it's not like it disappeared. It's just like they just like missed the line, and they're like, this is the country.
Yeah, how do you miss just like one country specifically though? I mean, good on for someone catching. There's so many of those. So I feel like that whole area, I'd have no clue.
Show me Six Flags from there. I'm not going to be able to pick off two of them.
And show me a Six Flags, and I couldn't even tell you where a Six Flags is.
Yeah, I can't point to
Dayton.
Don't even know where the nearest Six Flags is.
Let's take a trip. Let's take a trip, baby. That's the first thing we're doing. First thing we're doing is the Two Season Pod podcast trip to the closest Six Flags. Do you want to be on the Two Season Pod going to Six Flags vacation? The contest is opening up. twoseasonspod@gmail.com.
Join our Patreon.
You write us why you want to come to Six Flags with us, and what you could also offer to us a trip. Whether it's a ride there and back. Whether it's lodging, any of these things.
Literally anything. Just send us something.
It's literally anything. Send us something. Cam, I have one more for you here. Headline or asinine. A man dressed up as the Grim Reaper is haunting Florida beaches.
Well, personally, I love his work. Okay, I'd like to start off there. Regardless of
The
his
Grim
headline or
Reaper's
asinine,
work. Death's work, of course,
his
right?
work. Love his
Yeah,
work.
yeah. I'm such a fan of some of the people he's killed.
Huge fan.
Huge fan.
I would be going for autographs if I was there personally.
Mm-hmm.
But do I think that he's doing that? Yeah, because I think he's probably a guy who's looking at it and going like, people gotta get at these damn beaches. So then he puts his mask on, or his full outfit on, and walks slowly up the beach to scare people off. And he is just, I think, a visual anti that we didn't think we needed, but we didn't deserve. But whatever that saying is.
You mean the hero we didn't deserve but we got,
like
or
I
the
don't
hero
know.
that we do deserve but didn't get?
The hero that's in the second Batman, the one they made the second time around, not the first one.
Oh,
sequel.
are we doing Batman Returns?
No, not
Danny
that
DeVito?
one.
Oh, not that one. Okay. Talking Clooney? Are we talking the bat
think
nipples?
so.
The bat suit nipples?
Sure, I don't know. I didn't watch the movie, but I'm gonna call a headline.
Well, Cam, you'd be right, because that is a headline. Of course, a lot of Floridians are hitting the beaches again, because I think they've been reopened for whatever reason. But when Daniel Fielder, heads out to the beaches, he's usually wearing a raggedy black robe and a black cloth and walking around with a rubber scythe, even.
Nice.
So this guy's a lawyer.
Badass.
Yeah. So he's a lawyer who's getting out there trying to tell people he's death at a fucking beach. You're gonna spread around germs and diseases and all that kind of stuff. He actually has a few like a news outlet caught him. An American news outlet caught him and spoke to him while he's in his full get up and attire. You should check it out. He's just trying to make a point though, because there are over 35,000 cases of coronavirus in Florida.
That's where the UFC's being held tomorrow, baby. Can't wait. UFC, baby. It's the only state where combat sports are allowed right now. I'm so excited.
We've got WWE rocking every week. We've got AEW rocking every week. And of course now the UFC. Do you want to touch another man, another nude-ish man? Go to Florida, baby. Do you just want to get real sweaty and just hug on the ground for a little bit? Go to Florida, baby.
Ground hugging.
You want to do a little ground hugging? You know, some people might call it an arm bar, but I call it
a love touch.
Just loving your fellow man.
And with that, I want to remind every person who listens to the pod, thank you for listening. And remember, the pen caps with holes in them are there in case you swallow it to save your life. Thanks for listening.
No.
I'm Cam LeClaire.
My name's Cameron Osborne. Oh my God! How we can't expand on that alone? Jesus Christ! You just opened a whole new door, but we're gonna cover that door next time. Cam, it was great seeing you again. Great hearing your voice again. You take care for the rest of the day, you young medical professional, and folks at home. 2 Season a Pod. We hope you like it. Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube.
Bye.
Continuing
Tonight on 2 Season a Pod.
96.7 on your. Two season a pod, 2 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 Season a Pod, just like 2 Season a Pod, 2 Season a Pod at gmail.com.